it's denipon here. Welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to dive into a little video with you guys. As you can probably tell by the title, this is going to be my Path of Exile 2 console playtest experience. If you don't know me, my name is denipon. You can call me Denny. I stream on twitch.tv/denipon. I'm predominantly a Path of Exile creator with a little bit of variety mixed in. Feel free to stop there, say hello if you want to say hi, or let me know what you think. Also, let me know in the comments and appreciate if you like, follow, and subscribe. First of all, I was invited out to do the PoE2 console playtest, so I want to say first and foremost that this was my first experience with Path of Exile 2, and I predominantly play on PC. To go back a little bit, I do enjoy playing RPGs on console. I'm a big Diablo 3 couch co-op head. I always thought it was a very fun way to just kind of chill and play a game that I kind of liked with the homies. So it wasn't like it was something I was completely foreign to, but it was an entirely new game for me, and I am definitely a very slow player. My teammate was there, and we were able to play together for most of the event. So it was a different experience than, say, someone who might have played through the whole campaign or what was available at the time solo, or was playing based off of trying to beat speedrunner times or something like that. I think that co-op is probably more enjoyable for people that you're trying to lure in to play a game like Path of Exile. You know, I felt like that was the same way with Diablo 3 when I was playing a lot. I would always invite friends over for, you know, like a movie night or whatever, a game night, and we end up playing a bit for fun, and then next thing I know, I see them logged in on PC to play a bit. Unfortunately, with Diablo 3, it's an entirely different play-through experience, so you'd have to, you know, start your character all over again. But what Path of Exile 2 is promising is that it'll be cross-play and cross-progression, so if I wanted to sit down on a couch and roll a bunch of maps at the end of the night and be ready for it the next day so I can jump on my PC and play, that in theory is something we should be able to do. One of the things I really appreciate, and I think some of you guys have also been looking for in the ARPG marketplace, is that the art direction of Path of Exile 2 is looking phenomenal. If you really like that I'm the freaking washed up hero suffering kind of vibe, you know, dark fantasy, almost dystopian world, they're doing it. It's beautiful. The art direction is beautiful. The people they have hired to do like the environment designs, the music, even right down to the reworking of currency orbs. I think the people that they hired to do the art for that also did an amazing job. Secondly, I wanted to say, what's the ease of use of playing with a controller? So I play mostly on PC. I don't think I've ever played Path of Exile on a controller at all, but I didn't feel too stunted. I ended up playing a witch minion build for the event. Even that's a little bit different, and then it's also using the directionals on the controller to aim both your character and also the direction in which you're casting your spells. So overall it felt pretty good. Not too much going on with the direction of minions. My minions felt pretty strong. They were just running interference, so I had time to maybe cast a few spells that actually did some damage. Overall it felt pretty good. Maybe having it go co-op trivializes the game a little bit. I don't know how much damage increase, or if there isn't even a damage increase, or if there is just a overall health increase to bosses or zones. So that could have affected how it felt easier at the time. I think that was one takeaway that we collectively had, like, oh, it felt pretty easy. And then I remember hearing from the playtest prior and from the playtest at actual ExileCon that the game was incredibly difficult and there was a lot of dying going on. So I do think that they're still tweaking the difficulty to try and find that sweet spot of where it feels like you're trying really hard or you're doing the best that you can, or like you have to think about the choices that you're making, so, and it's not just mindlessly going through the game to get lit up when you make it to maps. I felt like controlling the character felt pretty decent. I didn't really play a build that required a lot of aim, which is something I always thought would be an issue with a controller and like a Path of Exile build. Anything that you have to aim doesn't seem to me like you'd have as much control as if you were playing with mouse and keyboard. But you guys who play on console, you let me know. I think like one of the most favored builds for console, or that I always hear people playing, is RF Chieftain, which, you know, it makes sense. The damage is the aura around you, so also not any directional. I think I've heard some people also play Cock DD last season on controller, so maybe as long as you have explosion and it clears in front of you, it's okay. Maybe you just have to be a god gamer. But I felt that I had pretty decent control of my character. I had a really good handle of using the menus. It was okay to, you know, go through my inventory, browsing the skill tree. Felt okay. Going through the skill gem level up system and being able to browse the available support gems overall felt pretty good. There was no issues. I wasn't feeling as though, oh man, I would rather do this with a mouse and keyboard. So I think that they're working really hard to make the user experience comfortable and enjoyable. The passive tree, I think, is going to be something really interesting and fun. And I'm excited for all of us to be able to dive further into it. I can show a little bit of footage, but they did ask us not to show too much or go too crazy. But some of the changes I really like is that everyone kind of starts in same idea area, but if you decide to go left or right side of the tree, you're either dex or int-starved or strength and vice versa. You know, it's what you're suffering with one of the stats depending on where you go on the tree. But they've made it so that your small nodes, your small passives, when you do select them, you can choose whether you want to go dexterity, intelligence, or strength. And I think that is a big positive. They have a bunch of really good quality of life that I have noted that they're trying to integrate and bring into base PoE, which I can really appreciate. Like the static boss life bars. I think that's a really good change. I did see some comments about how is that going to affect where our buffs are displayed, etc., etc. So that remains to be seen. I unfortunately didn't get far enough where I had to worry about a line of buffs across the top of my screen, or debuffs for that matter. Another thing that I think this will be pretty interesting for is that there is a very distinct and separate economy between console and PC Path of Exile currently. Like, I think they're working on trying to integrate or at the very least make the system similar. But from what I've heard, it's a really, really, really different experience. I hope this just opens up the ability for more players who may not have the opportunity to play on PC actually be able to create functional builds. So hopefully that's something that'll be changed with the cross progression and crossplay. That just means more people to play with. I know there are people who will argue like, well, who cares about the console experience? But I think at the end of the day, especially being a free-to-play game, most of us want this game to continue to be good and to be well developed and to have us as a community be listened to and heard when we have issues. And the larger the audience becomes, the more far-reaching Path of Exile goes. I think the better it is for all of us overall. Questing felt very similar to Path of Exile. You know me, PoE players, we don't be reading until we absolutely have to. I do think that the lore is going to be pretty interesting. There's obviously a lot of art direction going on, which I talked about at the very beginning because it was obvious to me and I loved it. But it feels pretty much the same. Areas, it does feel like they have the similar rotating map, or that the map will change. You'll get a different tile. Bosses are really cool, visually stunning. They look sick. The phases are interesting. Combat overall, it felt pretty good. Like I said, touching back, I ended up playing a witch minion build. I felt pretty cozy. I did try and play a monk. I did a short monk solo playthrough, and that was miserable for me. I don't really like to play melee in general, but I thought the monk sounded cool. I think the great mistake I made was getting baited in by the Wave of Light Bell skill that they showed us early on. And, I like playing Wave of Light Monk. It was fun. It was fun. But I probably should have went for, like, Frost. You guys know, Frost chill. It's just better. Better for, like, your mental health, too, honestly. Not getting run down by monsters constantly. I do think that there are some weird things. Like, we didn't realize that our gold was shared as we were playing co-op. We should have guessed because there was only, like, one amount. But we both just assumed that it wasn't shared. And, our great gold gambling fiasco. But leading off of that, about gold being a shared, economy thing between you and your couch co-op homie, there are some things that do need to be changed, and I hope in future builds they will change, or they have the intention to change. My biggest complaint so far is that there is no buyback. I think there is something they're saying that they wanted the menus to be easy to navigate, for it to be easy to sell, and not have to worry about going back and forth. Basically, they do intend to bring buyback back, because it is a horrible feeling to accidentally sell something to a vendor and then it's just gone forever, lost to the freaking ether. And we've all been there before, like just fat fingering something, the cat jumped into your lap, I don't know, sun got into your eye. But they said that they were looking to fix that. Another issue I had basically was kind of like visibility of character. It was like very difficult, and I'm sure playing minions didn't make it much easier. So on console, they do that thing where they have like a little ring around your character that's supposed to be able to help you see them, and like a directional to let you know what direction they're facing. However, I do think that they need to like amp the brightness on that, or maybe change the colors or something, just to make that a little bit more readable for people. And then there's another issue I had, res channeling. Trying to res your teammate or like your friend is sometimes a really difficult situation. And I don't know if it's because it's like user error, or I just like it's a little buggy at the time. I'm unsure if res channeling stays, or if you have to start over from 0 when you start it again. Yeah, overall, I was pretty excited about the gameplay. What do you guys think? Are you willing to try both console and PC? Are you going to remain loyal to only being a PC player? Are you planning to play Path of Exile up until PoE 2 comes out? Or are you a new player just waiting for PoE 2 in hopes that it might be the ARPG for you? Once again, thank you guys so much for watching and tuning into my video. Let me know what you think, if you have any more questions or comments. And if you enjoyed the video, I really appreciate if you hit the thumbs up. And if you also hit the subscribe button. Going into PoE, we'll be posting some more. And I hope to see you guys there. Bye!